Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to paint and assemble this new witch file. She's holding a pretty pumpkin and it has some florals on it, kind of matches her hat. And she's a little different. I'm gonna make her a redhead this time. So I have the blonde and the brunette, and she's going to have red hair. So I changed up her dress just a little bit, did a new neckline, did the similar dress as the last one because I kind of like that style. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take her all apart. So first I'm gonna take off her little hat. So there's her hat with her little florals, and I'm gonna set that over here. This is an optional layer if you want. You can leave her like that without the little bangs in the front, and you can leave her like this if you want. I like her with the little bangs. Just gives her like kind of a stylish look. And then here's her hair, and take that off. And then here's her head and her chest, and we have her arms, and then we have her dress. I'm gonna take that and set it over here. And then we have her little pumpkin, and that's in multiple layers. And I'm gonna set that over here with her florals. And then this is her arm that's attached to the pumpkin. And then we have our back layer. So this time, because I cut out part of her hair to kind of show a little bit of dimension, we are gonna paint a little bit on this back layer. So since she's going to have, kind of like she's gonna be a redhead this time, I'm gonna put a little bit of the dark brown in the back. So I'm going to start with my coffee bean paint. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and this is gonna be the only paint I use on this layer. If I could get the cap off. This one's really getting stuck. So I'm gonna just put a little bit on. Here we are. Got a little bit of water here. Just drinking water. It's awfully humid out today, so it is one of those days. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of that brown on this layer where that's going to show. There we go. And just make sure I get all of it. I think I got it all. And then you can also double check to make sure that you covered all of it. There we go. There, I got it all. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this. And that's it. So while I have my coffee bean color out, I'm going to take this pumpkin apart. There's the floral layer. This is going to be the orange layer, and this is going to be the back layer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of this coffee brown. It's going to be the back layer. It's going to be the layer that shows like the pieces in between. I'm just gonna go ahead and just give that a quick paint. Some dark brown. And you can choose whatever color you want to use. That's just the ones I chose. And you can give her any hair color you want. I just have already done blonde and brunette. Why not do a redhead too? So you can color her however you want. There we are. So this one's all done. I'm just gonna set this off to the side. Okay, and I think I'm all done with the brown, so I'm gonna set this brush over here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint all the skin color, and the skin color I've been using is the folk art paint, and it looks like that may have gotten put away. I had it out here. Looks like I had just been painting here. It looks like that one disappeared. It's very weird. Okay, well, that's odd. I'll have to come back to that one. I don't seem to see it. I'll grab a different color. I had all my paints out ahead of time. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do another color while I'm looking for that. It's really weird. Okay, so I have this pretty pumpkin orange. I'll do the orange next. And I'll do her hair too. I'm gonna do the same color for her hair as the pumpkin. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this. There we go. Okay, that's a nice pumpkin orange. And you don't have to do the whole thing, just part of it. Just the parts that are gonna show because you're gonna be covering that up with the floral layer. All right, so then here's her hair. Do that same color. And this is just a pretty orange. This is, this one is Country Chic paint, in case you're wondering. And this shade is, I don't see a shade. I'm not sure. It does not have a color listed. Maybe it's on the top. Nope. Well, this is the paint that I used. I don't see a color listed, but in case you're looking for it, this is the paint. And I'm trying to see if there's a shade listed. I don't see it. But this is the paint, in case you're looking. Definitely don't see a paint shade listed on here, but that is, there's another shade from the DIY paint, and it's Summer Crush. That's a similar shade. It's almost identical. So it's really weird. They don't put the color of the paint on the jar. So I'm just missing it. Okay. And there's too much paint on the side. That's the paint that spilled on my floor in the garage. And my table leg broke. So there's a lot of paint spilled on it. Probably on there somewhere. All right, we're having a very windy day today. We had some storms earlier, and now the sun's out and it's very, very windy. So here's our hair. I love that pretty red color. It's a nice redhead color. Very pretty. She's got, her hair's gonna match her pumpkin. All right. There we go. I'm having so much fun making these witches. A lot of fun. So then here's her bangs. There we go. Get a little bit more paint. And there we are. Just want to make sure I get all of it. And then you're going to be covering this with the hat. So you don't have to be perfect. You can see I'm not being perfect with my painting because a lot of it's going to be covered. There we go. Just try not to get it on the edges. There we are. I just want to make sure I don't have any brush strokes. I don't like to have brush strokes. And I think this one might need a second coat. I'm just going to go back and give that a second coat. Okay. Okay. There we are. I'm gonna let these dry. I'm gonna set them off to the side. And I'm just gonna give this another coat real quick. There we go. Really like that pumpkin orange, very pretty. Okay, so that is it for my orange. I might come back to this, so I'm just gonna set it off to the side for now. There we go. And I do want to find that, the milk jug color. I'm not sure what could have happened to it. I just hit it. Very weird. I just checked and I don't see it. It looks like my milk jug color disappeared. I just had it for my other video I just made about an hour ago, and it was on the table and it's gone. So I'm gonna use another color. This one's a little bit yellowy though, so I'm not sure if I want to use this. I might have to skip painting the head and the arms for the video because my paint seems to be missing. So very weird. I had everything laid out right before this video. So my assistant was here and she was helping me clean the brushes. So I think she may have walked off with my paint. So I'm very sorry for that. I really wanted to paint these, but okay, so these would be done with the milk jug color. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I think she took it with her, maybe? Very weird. But I just kind of don't want to use a different color. I want them all to kind of match. But I don't even see another color that would match, that would even go with it. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to do the next one. We'll do her dress black. Okay. Oh, here it is. Got it. There's the milk jug. So that makes me a little happier. Okay. I'm gonna grab this. And I'm gonna paint the, I'm gonna get a little bit bigger brush. I'm gonna paint the face. I'm not a big fan of this particular brand for this color because you can see that this doesn't cover very well in one coat. Definitely have to give it like 3 coats if you're using this particular color in this brand. I'm gonna try to seek out another brand that's very similar in this color. So I like to use this color because it's kind of very ghost-like, very ethereal. There we are. So you can see it's really, it doesn't have the best coverage. And I don't want to have brush strokes for her face, on her face or her chest. Put a little bit too much paint on there. There we are. I'll take some of that paint off and use, if you take too much, just use it on another piece that you still have to paint. There we are. And we still have to paint her arm over here. You can see I'm getting some of the char in the paint. That happens. The char is just, I try to wipe it down before I get started, but sometimes it just gets in your paint. You just kind of have to work with it. Sometimes it's fun for, if you're distressing something, it's kind of okay if you get that in your paint, but for this situation, I don't really want to have any char in my paint. I want to have it nice and clean. There we are. I'm just gonna work through this here. There we are. And I'm just gonna smooth out any brush strokes. You can see that this does not cover very well. Definitely need to use several coats. So I'm gonna seek out some different brands in a similar color. See if I can find one that coats a little better. That's why I was hoping if I looked around, maybe I could find a different shade, but I kind of want them all to be the same. So if I put them all together, then they all match really nice. All right, so this one I'm gonna let dry for a little bit. I'm gonna come back around and do another coat. You can see that dried pretty quick, and you can see that second coat, you can see how much brighter that is. Take some of that paint off, Add a little bit more paint here. And you don't have to worry about this being perfect because you're going to be layering the pumpkin over the top of this one. So wherever you choose to stop is fine because you're going to put that pumpkin right over the top. Okay. Got a little bit more paint. There we are. And I think I'm going to do her dress black again, just for consistency. But you can paint them however you want, or use acrylic, or whatever material you want to use for that. I see some really cool acrylics out there. All right, I'm just doing mine in MDF just so I can show you some paint techniques. And then I'm going to make some other ones in different media. I want to try some acrylic. I think her dress would look really pretty in some different acrylic styles. Maybe it's like some paint pour acrylics. There's some really cool scale acrylics, shell acrylics. Her dress would look really pretty in any of those. Okay, so there's our arm. I got a little bit of paint on the side. I'm just gonna wipe that off. There we are. There we go. And I feel like that still needs another coat. This paint isn't, it's not my favorite. There we are. You can see how many coats it takes. If I was gonna rate this paint 1 to 10, I'd say a 3 because it clumps. You can see the chunks in there. It clumps and it does not cover very well. At least this color. I've gotten some other colors that work really well, but this color is just not working out for me. So that's just my opinion. Okay. Definitely gonna look for a new brand for this kind of color. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. Set it off to the side. Put all of these off to the side. There we go. Alrighty. And here's her dress. And I think I'm gonna grab this Raven black. Here's Raven, and this is from Vintage Market. But again, you can use any brand you want. It's just chalk paint. Just make sure you shake it up real good before you start. There's our black. Grab a brush. I'm gonna grab a bigger brush. There we are. My brush is stained blue. I used one that had a high pigment, and so now my brush is stained blue. That's okay, as long as the blue doesn't come off. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead, put that right on there, and I can use quite a bit. This dries really fast. Just more of that. The top of her dress. It's a fun neckline. It reminds me of like old school dresses from like mid-century. I think they're so pretty. There we are. And I'm gonna also paint her hat while I have my black paint out. And I just use the caps when I paint, so I'm not wasting any paint. Some people like to use those little paint pots to pour all their paints in, but I just use the cap. It's just easier that way for me. Here we go. There. And I am going to dry brush over this just to give it some more dimension too. There's some wind. My goodness. It is a windy day. It's blowing some stuff. We got some cottonwood out here today, and it is blowing it all in the air. It looks like it's snowing. Just want to make sure I don't have any of that stuff on my brush. All right. So there's her dress. I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna come back to it and do some dry brushing on that. Okay. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna work on her hat. I'm gonna take the little florals off. Moving right along. There we go. Easy peasy, real quick. There we are. There's her hat. And you don't have to do the whole thing because you're going to be layering those florals over the top. Okay, that's it for that part. And now we have our florals. That's all we have left. So I'm going to go ahead and take these apart. And I have my green. That's Weeping Willow. It's a nice light green. It's a sage. And Folk Art does make a sage green in case you wanted to try a different brand. My goodness, there's some bugs flying around. That's what happens when you work out in the garage. You get some bugs. I like to work out in the garage. Such a nice day. I want to be outside. Trying to get outdoors as much as I can. There we are. And I'm just going to go ahead and just be generous with that green. And I'm only going to do just this part of it because I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the berries a different color. So I'm going to just grab a little bit more. And I'm going to do all my greens over here. And I'm going to do the berries a different color just like I did on the pumpkin. I'm going to do the berries red this time because we use a lot of that orange before. So we don't want to use too much of the same color. You don't want to oversaturate and keep using the same color over and over. So when you're painting, just make sure that you're trying not to get the touch the colors. So if you do, you just paint right over it. So there's all my, and you can do these greens different colors. You don't have to do them all the same shade. I'm just doing mine quickly, just because I happen to like this color a lot. So there it is. And my greens are all painted. Here we are. Just making sure I get all of those. Here we go. Make sure I get all the spots that might not be covered by the flower. Okay. And I'm gonna grab my, I'm gonna do this pretty burgundy color for my little berries. I'm gonna get a tiny brush for this part, a little tiny one. And this one is called Muscadine Wine. It's such a pretty color. So there it is there. Shake it up. And it's a real pretty, it's kind of like a barn red almost. I really like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just brush it right on there. And if you want, you can add a little bit of yellow, whatever you want to do for that. I like to add a little bit of other colors to it. So I really like this. It's a nice one. I like to look for, I like all the fall colors. Make sure you don't get any paint in between those little spaces. And they're not too close to each other. I tried to design them where they're far enough away where you don't touch the berries to the greens. This is as close as it is there, and I'm not touching them. But if I do, I can just grab my green paint and fix it. There we go. Just make sure that I get all those spots. You know, as it dries, it gets a little bit more brown. All right, that's all there is to that. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And I'm gonna like put a little bit of yellow on this just to lighten it up. We'll add a little highlight. There we go. And add a little bit more. Some little berries, some little fall berries. There we are. That's it. So what I'm going to do is I have my yellow paint and I'm going to grab that. And it's just like I think this one's called Colonel Mustard. That's funny. I just noticed that. Colonel Mustard. All right. When I was a little kid, I used to think it said Colonel. I don't know why. I guess I'm a silly kid. All right. I don't know, Colonel. That was goofy. So I'm just gonna go ahead, tap a little bit of that yellow off. I'm just gonna add a little bit of yellow through here, just to add a little bit of texture. Why not? A little bit, just a little bit. And we'll do the same thing on the other one. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Why not? Maybe it gets a little less as it goes. There we go. I'm just tapping it on. There we go. I'll do the same thing. Make sure I don't put too much on there. And I'm just gonna tap it on. Doesn't have to be perfect. However you want to do it. And when you're happy with it, you're gonna be done. There we are. And that's gonna be for my, that's my pumpkin floral, and this is the hat floral. Add a little bit more. There we are. Might tap a little bit more, just cause. There. Now I'm going to do, the center of the flowers with that yellow. Why not? It's a fun yellow. There we go. And tap it on here. Trying something new. Okay, now I'm gonna just put this green away real quick. I'm gonna paint the flowers. And I just love doing the flowers. I'm always doing the same colors, but sometimes I do them different. I'm gonna just move these out of the way for now. I'm gonna do this pretty teal. It's called Peacock. There we are. And I'm just gonna set this down. And I'm gonna just use that same green brush because it's so similar. There we are. Bring my flower over. Paint on my peacock color. There we are. And then I am gonna do another color in the center. I'm gonna do like that periwinkle blue in the center. There we go. Do the same thing. Kind of want my florals to match. Maybe she coordinated with her floral pumpkin. Her hat and her pumpkin match. There we go. But you don't have to make a match. You can do the florals in different shades, you can do purples or reds, oranges, whatever you want to do. You don't have to do them exactly the same. Change it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and just grab this kind of like a periwinkle color. This one's called Blueberry. And with that same brush, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that blueberry, like a pretty periwinkle color. And I'm just going to just tap out that middle part. There we are. The same thing over here. And that's all you do. That's it. All right, and I'm pretty happy with that. Put my cap back on so I don't spill it. And I think I am just about done with my witch. I just have to put her together. I think everything is painted. This pretty fast one. I mean, these go pretty fast. I could have done this a lot faster if I wasn't gabbing and looking for paint, but these really don't take long at all to do. So I'm just gonna put all my caps on while I'm thinking about it so I don't make a mess. Like the one day I spilled paint on my garage floor. All right. Now I'm going to get the back piece so we can piece everything together. All right. I just want to move all these paint caps out of the way first so we don't spill anything on her. Okay. So here's our pumpkin. We're gonna just put those, line those florals up. Not this part here. You're not gonna line this piece up because you're gonna notice that the brown is gonna show around that orange. So you're only gonna line up the floral pieces. See, you're gonna line up those florals because you'll notice those do not line up right to the edge. So line up your florals when you go to glue this. So you just line up the florals. Here comes the next layer of florals. You're gonna just put that right on top. Here's your layer of florals. And I really, really like how that came out. That's looking really pretty. Then we put our flower on top. And you're gonna match that up to the flower that's on there. Then you're gonna take your centerpiece, put it right on top. There it is. So there's your pumpkin. I'm gonna put it right up there so you can see it. I'm really happy with how that came out. That's so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna just set that over here. So that's all assembled. That's how you put the pumpkin together. And then we have our little hat florals. We just put those right on top. That's an easy one. And you just put that right on top of here. Easy peasy. That's all there is to doing the hat. So there you go. I'm gonna put this over here and I'm gonna bring our ladybug. And she looks pretty just by herself. Just the back piece. If you wanted to just use that and just spray paint her black, she'd be just a fun piece just like this without doing anything. So I like the back pieces just by themselves. So we're gonna start with her dress. And I think I'm gonna dry brush that. Before I do anything else, let's dry brush. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not even gonna dry brush it. I think I like it the way it is. I'm gonna put her head on. I'm gonna grab her hair. Here's how her hair goes on. Oops, that was not dry. I got a goober in there. There we go. At least I didn't get anything on there. Just want to make sure you don't get any goobers in there, because when you go to put these together, these will fit together nice and snugly. And there's another goober in here. So I make sure I get those out. There we are. Put those together. Those goobers. There we are. And she's gonna fit right on top. And then we have her arm, which is right here. There's her arm. Then we have her other arm. And that just fits right in there like a puzzle. There she is. And then we have her bangs. Oh, she looks really pretty. Make sure I line this all up perfectly. There we go. Those are her bangs. And then there's her hat. We'll set that right on top. I like to squeeze the pieces together to make sure they all fit when I go to glue them. There we go. There's her hat. And then we'll put her pumpkin on. And then she is all put together. There we go. If my hand didn't shake. There we go. And you'll just piece that right on where that goes. And that just, so you're gonna piece those floral layers. There you go. And I moved her hat by accident. And that's it. That's how she goes together. I really like the way this one came out. I don't know which one's my favorite. I like all the witches. They are a lot of fun. So, move that over. So this has been a lot of fun. I want to keep making more of these witches. They are super fun to make. And I just want to keep coming up with more ideas for more witches. So I hope you guys are enjoying these. It's been like kind of something I'm stepping out of my comfort zone because I usually don't make people, but I'm really enjoying it. So I had a suggestion from someone and I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. All right. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this, and happy rest of your weekend, and happy spooky season. Bye.